She invited her ex into our home while I was at work, so I came back, kicked them both out, and changed the locks. I never thought I'd be writing this, but here we are. My name's Caden, I'm 32, and I work as an offshore wind turbine technician in the North Sea. It's not glamorous work, 2 weeks on a platform maintaining massive turbines, 2 weeks home. The money's good though, really good. Good enough that my wife Kate could pursue her dream job as a contemporary art restorer without worrying about bills. Kate's 30, brilliant with her hands, can make a damaged canvas look like it just left the artist's studio. We met 8 years ago at a friend's exhibition opening. She was examining brushstrokes while everyone else was drinking free wine. That focus, that passion, I fell hard. Married her 3 years later. Our daughter Aria came along the year after that. She just turned 4 last month. Life was good. Or I thought it was. The platform rotation meant I missed things. School plays, anniversaries, regular Tuesday nights. But Kate never complained. Said she understood, said the sacrifice was worth it for our future. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was my wife. The mother of my child. My partner. Then Damien moved back to town. Her ex from art school. Documentary sound engineer. The guy she dated for 3 years before me. The one who broke her heart when he moved to Berlin for work. Suddenly he's back, living 10 minutes away, working on some project about industrial heritage. What are the odds, right? Kate mentioned it casually over dinner 6 months ago. Oh, weird thing, Damien's back in town. Saw him at the coffee shop. Just like that. No big deal. Ancient history. But things started shifting. Small things at first. Her phone face down on the counter. New passwords on her laptop. Gallery events that seemed to pop up whenever I had shore leave. She'd come home late, shower immediately, claim she smelled like turpentine and didn't want to give me a headache. I pushed the doubts down. This was Kate. My Kate. Mother of my daughter. The woman who cried at our wedding vows. Who sent me care packages to the platform with homemade cookies and pictures Aria drew. 2 weeks ago, I started another rotation. Kissed them both goodbye, took the helicopter out to the platform. Same routine, check equipment, run diagnostics, battle North Sea winds, eat terrible food, video call home before bed. Then 3 nights ago, at 11 p.m. platform time, my phone buzzed. We need to talk when you get home. That's all. No context. No emotion. Just 5 words that made my stomach drop through the deck plating. I called immediately. No answer. Texted back. Nothing. Called again. Voicemail. Something in my gut was screaming. Not nervousness, certainty. The kind of feeling you get before equipment fails, that sixth sense that keeps you alive working 100 meters above angry water. I couldn't focus. Nearly crossed the wrong wires twice. My supervisor noticed, pulled me aside. Caden, what's going on? You're gonna get someone destroyed. I showed him the text. He read it, looked at me, and said, go. Emergency family leave. Helicopter to shore at dawn. By 2 a.m. I was driving home, 3 days early, unannounced. Kate thought I was still on the platform. Whatever she needed to talk about, she figured she had time to prepare her speech. The house was dark except for the kitchen light. Kate's car in the driveway. But there was another car parked 3 houses down. Familiar. A beat-up Volvo with broadcasting equipment in the back. Damien's car. My hands were steady as I walked up the path. No anger yet, just clarity. The kind you need when turbine blades ice over and you're deciding whether to climb or call it. The front door was unlocked. She never left it unlocked, even during the day. Said it made her nervous when I was away. 2 pairs of shoes on the mat. Kate's heels from work. Men's boots I didn't recognize. Her laugh floated from the kitchen. That specific laugh, the one she used to use with me. Light. Flirty. Unguarded. I stood at my own front door, hand on the handle, listening to my wife laugh with another man in our kitchen at 2 a.m. The smart move was to walk away. Come back later. Think it through. But I didn't drive 300 miles to be smart. I turned the handle and walked into my house. The hallway was dark, but the kitchen glowed warm at the end. Their voices carried clearly now. Not just laughing, talking. Comfortable. Intimate. Told you he wouldn't notice, Damien's voice. Guy's more worried about wind speeds than what's happening in his own house. Kate giggled. That giggle. Stop it. He's not stupid, just focused elsewhere. I moved silent down the hallway. Years of walking metal grating in storms taught me how to place my feet. The house didn't make a sound. Another glass? Damien asked. A cork popped. My wine. The bottle of Malbec I'd been saving for our anniversary next month. Why not? We've got until Sunday. Sunday? When I was supposed to come home. I reached the kitchen doorway and stopped. Processed what I was seeing. Damien stood at my counter, wearing my robe. The one Kate bought me last Christmas. Navy blue with my initials on the chest. His chest now. He was pouring wine into 2 glasses, our wedding crystal. Kate sat on the barstool, and my brain stuttered trying to understand her outfit. Lingerie. Black lace. The set I'd bought her for Valentine's Day. The one she said was too uncomfortable to wear. Takeout containers covered the counter. Thai food. From the place she said was too expensive for regular nights. Neither of them faced the doorway. Too comfortable. Too safe. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, hit record. So Friday, Damien said, sliding a glass to Kate. Thought we could drive up the coast. That bed and breakfast you mentioned? The one with the clawfoot tubs? Kate traced the rim of her glass. Perfect. He'll be gone another 11 days. Still can't believe he bought that rotation extension excuse. Kate shrugged. Told you. Mention overtime rates and he stops asking questions. My thumb stayed steady on the record button. No shake. No rage. Just documentation. When do you think we should tell him? Damien asked. After Arya starts school properly. Maybe Christmas. Gives us time to figure out the logistics. And the house? Community property state. I get half of everything. Including his dad's inheritance. I'd heard enough. Still recording, I stepped into the kitchen. Half of everything, huh? Time slowed. Kate's glass slipped, caught herself before it fell. Damien froze mid-sip. The color drained from Kate's face so fast I thought she might faint. Kaden. My name came out as a whisper. Don't. I kept the phone up, still recording. Just don't. Damien tried to set his glass down casual, like this was normal. Hey man, this isn't. My robe looks good on you. My voice was ice. North Sea and January ice. Kate stood up, suddenly aware of what she was wearing. Or wasn't wearing. Baby, I can explain? Explain what? That you're screwing your ex in our house? In our bed? Wearing the lingerie I bought you? It's not, we haven't. 60 seconds. They looked at each other, confused. You have 60 seconds to get out of my house. Both of you. Starting now. Damien laughed. Actually laughed. Come on, man. Let's talk about this like adults. I stepped toward him. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just purposeful. 50 seconds. Kaden, please, Kate started. 45. Damien squared up. You can't just. I grabbed the robe collar with my left hand, yanked it off him in one motion. He stood there in boxers, trying to look tough. 30 seconds. Kate scrambled for her clothes on the chair. I stepped between her and them. You chose that outfit. Live with it. You can't throw me out like this. 20 seconds. I grabbed Damien's arm, twisted it behind his back, not enough to hurt, just enough to move him. Marched him to the front door. This is storm, he yelled. This is trespassing. I opened the door, pushed him out onto the porch in his boxers. Your clothes are in my bedroom. I'll mail them. Kate ran for the door, but I was already closing it. She slipped out just in time, barefoot, in lingerie, at 2:30 a.m. My keys. My phone. She banged on the door. I looked at the counter. There it was. Her phone. Screen still lit up. Unlocked. I picked it up, and saw the messages app was open. The conversation with Damien went back months. 8 months. I sat down at my kitchen counter, in the spot where Damien had been standing, and started scrolling. 8 months of messages. 243 days of lies laid out in blue and gray bubbles. I scrolled to the beginning. February. 2 weeks after Damien moved back. Was nice running into you at the coffee shop. We should catch up properly. I don't think that's a good idea. Just coffee. For old time's sake? 3 days later, she caved. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into you remember that time. And you remember that time turned into this. Kate banged on the door harder. Kaden. My phone has work files. I need it. I kept reading. March. Last night was a mistake. Can't happen again. You said that last week too, winking face emoji. April. He's on the platform for 2 weeks. Come over. The first time. In our house. In our bed. While I was working 100-meter heights to pay for the life she was destroying. May got worse. They discussed my schedule. My bonus. The inheritance from my dad's death that I'd invested for Arya's college. He told me the exact amount. We could live for years on half of that. Patience, babe. Let him keep earning. The longer we wait, the more we get. I screenshotted everything. Sent them to my email. My cloud storage. My lawyer friend's emergency inbox we'd set up years ago as a joke. June, pictures. I'll spare you the details, but they were in my house. My shower. My daughter's playroom after she'd gone to bed. Outside, Kate had given up banging and was now crying. Please. It's cold. I found July. The messages turned financial. Checked with a lawyer friend. Discreet. You'd get the house, half his savings, investments, plus child support. What about custody? Joint. Unless we can prove he's unfit. Does he drink? No. Doesn't even smoke. We'll figure something out. My blood turned to ice. They were planning to take my daughter. I backed everything up again. Then opened her email. Same password she'd used for years, our anniversary date. Sweet, right? Receipts. So many receipts. The client dinners charged to her company card. The gallery events that were actually hotels. The work trips to restoration conferences that were really weekends with Damien. Her banking app was next. The separate savings account I didn't know about. $23,000. Transfers from our joint account, small amounts over months. Groceries. Gas. Arya's activities. I photographed everything with my phone. Every screen. Every transaction. Every lie. 3:47 a.m. I called my lawyer friend, Harrison. Private practice, handled my dad's estate. Kaden? It's almost 4 in the morning. I need you to file emergency papers. Now. What happened? Kate's been having an affair. 8 months. I have documentation. They're planning to take everything. Silence. Then, send me everything. I'll have papers ready by 9 a.m. Change your locks. Move money, legally. I'll tell you what you can touch. Already screenshotted it all. Physical locks first. Then financial. Document any joint property. Don't destroy anything. Don't threaten anyone. Keep it clean. Outside, silence. They'd given up. Probably went to Damien's car. I called a 24-hour locksmith. Emergency service. Every lock. Tonight. While waiting, I went through more emails. Found one that made me stop cold. To her sister Melody, sent 3 weeks ago. Remember what happened with Harrison in college? Same situation. But this time I'm being smarter. Getting my ducks in a row first. Harrison. Another ex. I called Melody in Seoul where she was teaching. She answered on the second ring despite the time difference. Kaden? Is everything okay? What happened with Harrison in college? Long pause. She didn't tell you? Tell me what? She did this before. Cheated on him with his roommate. Convinced everyone Harrison was abusive. He lost his scholarship fighting the allegations. Had to transfer schools. The locksmith arrived as I hung up. Efficient. Professional. Didn't ask questions about the lingerie-clad woman in the Volvo parked down the street. New locks installed by 5:30 a.m. Security cameras ordered for rush delivery. I moved through the house like I was securing a turbine before a storm. Methodical. Thorough. Then Kate's phone buzzed. A text from a number labeled Gallery Director. Kate, where are the Pemberton restoration files? Client is threatening to pull the entire collection if we can't show progress. This is the third missed deadline. I opened her work email. 17 unread messages from her boss. Subject lines getting increasingly urgent. The phone rang. Her boss calling. I answered. Kate, finally. Where the hell are you? The Pemberton account is. This is Kaden. Kate's husband. There's been a family emergency. Family emergency? Her boss, Patricia, sounded skeptical. Kate hasn't mentioned anything. We've been trying to reach her for 3 days about the Pemberton collection. I apologize for the confusion. I just discovered some concerning irregularities that might affect the gallery. Silence. Then, carefully, what kind of irregularities? I'd prefer to discuss this in person. Would you be available this morning? I have documentation you need to see. Documentation about what? Gallery credit card usage. Client dinners that weren't with clients. The pause stretched longer this time. How soon can you be here? By 9 a.m., I sat in the gallery's conference room. Patricia, the head of HR, and the gallery's legal counsel faced me across the polished table. I'd printed everything. Organized by date. Highlighted the relevant parts. These are credit card statements from Kate's company card. I pushed the first folder across. Cross-referenced with text messages and location data from her phone. Patricia opened it. Her face went from skeptical to shocked in 3 seconds. March 15th. Charged as dinner with the Morrison estate representative. I pointed to the highlighted line. Here's the text she sent that night, with location tag at the Riverside Hotel. With this person. I showed Damien's photo. The HR director started taking notes. April through August. 17 charges. $11,000 in client entertainment that was actually her affair. Here are the receipts, messages, and proof the clients were never there. Patricia's hands shook slightly as she turned pages. Has Kate mentioned any restoration projects she's been doing from home? I asked. Several. She said she needed space to focus. I pulled out another folder. She's been letting Damien use my home studio that I converted into her workspace. He's been recording his documentary work there during business hours. Using your time and my space for his commercial projects. The legal counsel leaned forward. We'll need to verify. Here's video from this morning. Timestamped. She admitted to the timeline. They watched the kitchen recording on my phone. Kate talking about the house, the money, the planning. Patricia stood up. We need to launch an internal investigation immediately. Kate is suspended, effective now. What about the Pemberton collection? The HR director asked. We'll need to bring in another restorer. This is. Patricia rubbed her temples. This is a disaster. I left them my contact information and drove to Damien's production company. Smaller operation, but same playbook. Documentation. Evidence. His boss was less formal about it. That explains why our equipment keeps disappearing. And why his project budgets never add up. He shook his head. We're done with him. By noon, I'd created a simple website. Nothing fancy. Just a timeline. Evidence with names redacted. The truth laid out clean and simple. I sent the link to our friend group with a short message. You've been asking why Kate and I are having issues. Here's the answer. My phone exploded. Texts. Calls. People choosing sides, though most of the choices were easy once they saw the evidence. Kate's parents called at 2 p.m. They'd received my courier package. Kaden, her father's voice was rough. Is this real? Every word. Every receipt. That's our credit card she used for the May Hotel. We gave her that for emergencies. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Her mother took the phone. Where's Arya? Daycare. I'm picking her up soon. We'd like to see her. Of course. You're her grandparents. This isn't about you. And Kate? That's up to her to figure out. I picked up Arya at 3 p.m. She ran to me, backpack bouncing, crayon drawing in her hand. Daddy. You're home early. Missed you too much, princess. Where's Mommy? Mommy had to go help Grandma and Grandpa with something. She accepted it. 4-year-olds are good like that. We went for ice cream. Played at the park. Normal afternoon. Except for the 17 missed calls from Kate on my phone. The 43 texts ranging from apologetic to angry to desperate. Harrison called at 5 p.m. Papers are filed. Emergency custody hearing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Judge Reeves. He doesn't like adultery cases that involve planning against children. What are my chances? With this evidence? Strong. But Kaden. What? Kate's lawyer just called me. She's claiming you stormed her. Threw her out without clothes. She's at the police station now. Stay calm, Harrison said. You have video. She was trespassing. You asked them to leave your property. She's really going there? After everything? Desperate people do desperate things. Police will probably come by tonight. Be cooperative. Show them everything. He was right. 7 p.m., 2 officers at my door. Arya was coloring at the kitchen table. Mr. Caden? We need to ask you about an incident this morning. Of course. My daughter's here, though. Can we talk outside? They appreciated that. On the porch, I pulled up the video on my phone. This was 2:30 a.m. I came home early from work. Found them in my kitchen. I let them watch. I asked them to leave. They refused. I escorted them out. The older officer nodded. She says you physically stormed her and Mr. Damien. I removed my robe from him and guided them to the door. Here's the exterior camera footage from my neighbor. I'd asked Terry for it that morning. Shows them walking to his car. No injuries. No violence. They watched that too. She also claims you stole her property. I pulled out receipts. Everything in that house is either mine or jointly purchased. Here's documentation. I've already sent this to my attorney. The younger officer looked uncomfortable. This seems like a civil matter. We'll file a report, but unless there's evidence of actual storm. There isn't, the older one said firmly. Ma'am made several inconsistent statements at the station. Changed her story 3 times. They left with copies of my videos. No charges. Just paperwork. Melody called from Seoul at 9 p.m. Caden, I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. You tried to warn me. Not directly, but you dropped hints. She's my sister. But what she did to you, to Harrison back then. It's a pattern. She called me crying about an hour ago. What did she say? That you're being unreasonable. That it was just a mistake. That Damien means nothing. 8 months isn't a mistake. I know. I told her that. She hung up on me. The next morning, custody hearing. Judge Reeves was a grandfather himself, silver-haired and sharp-eyed. Kate showed up in her most conservative outfit, trying to look like a Sunday school teacher. Harrison presented our case clean and simple. Evidence of the affair. Evidence of financial planning against me. Evidence of intent to manipulate custody. Kate's lawyer tried spinning it. Your Honor, people make mistakes. My client is seeking counseling. She's a devoted mother who exposed her child to an affair partner in the family home. The judge interrupted. I've seen the messages, counselor. Your client and Mr. Damien discussed keeping it quiet when the kid's around. That means the child was present during their meetings. Kate started crying. Not the pretty kind. The messy, desperate kind. Temporary emergency custody to Mr. Caden, the judge ruled. Ms. Kate gets supervised visitation, Saturdays, 2 hours, pending final determination. Kate's wail echoed through the courthouse. Outside, her parents waited. Her father wouldn't look at her. Her mother just shook her head and walked away. They'd read everything. Seen how she'd used their emergency card for hotel rooms. That afternoon, the gallery called. Kate was terminated. Criminal charges for embezzlement pending. 11,000 in fraudulent charges was a felony. Damien disappeared. His production company fired him, his equipment got repossessed, and his Volvo vanished from the neighborhood. Kate texted me frantically, he won't answer. Where is he? I didn't respond. Saturday came. Kate's first supervised visitation at the community center. I dropped Arya off with the court-appointed supervisor. 2 hours later, picked her up. How was it, princess? Mommy cried a lot. She kept asking about you. What did you tell her? That you make better pancakes now. With chocolate chips. Kids. They see straight through to what matters. That night, Kate's desperation peaked. 57 texts. 12 voicemails. Offers to go to therapy. Promises to change. Then, finally, an admission. It was Damien's idea. All of it. I can prove it. She was turning on him. Predictable. Monday morning, Harrison called early. Too early. Caden, you sitting down? What now? Kate's lawyer just sent over medical records. She's claiming she's pregnant. Says it's yours. That's impossible. I've been on the platform for. I know. But she's demanding a DNA test and using it to delay the divorce proceedings. The timeline's impossible, I told Harrison. I've been offshore for the past 3 weeks before catching them. 4 weeks before that, she had her period. I know because she marked it on our calendar, complained about cramps during Arya's dance recital. Pull the calendar. Screenshot everything. Medical records show she's 8 weeks pregnant. 8 weeks. I did the math. I was on a double rotation. Emergency coverage when Brent got injured. Gone for 29 days straight. Perfect. But we need the DNA test anyway. Judge's orders. The test was scheduled for Wednesday. Kate showed up looking rough. No makeup couldn't hide the dark circles. The designer clothes replaced by sweats. Damien had ghosted her completely, and it showed. Kaden, she started when she saw me. Save it for someone who cares. The nurse called us separately. Blood draws. Cheek swabs. Results in 72 hours. Those 3 days, Kate went into overdrive. She called my mother in Florida. My brother in Montana. My cousins. Everyone got the same sob story about one mistake, about forgiveness, about family. Nobody bought it. My mom's response was legendary. You plan to steal my son's inheritance from his father? The money from the man who died of cancer? You're dead to this family. Thursday, her parents cut her off completely. Her father sent me a text, we're changing our will. Everything goes to Arya and trust. Kate gets nothing. Her sister Melody flew in from Seoul. Not for Kate, for me and Arya. She took Arya to the zoo while I handled the chaos, then testified in court about Kate's pattern with Harrison in college. Friday morning, DNA results arrived at Harrison's office. I drove over, my hand steady on the wheel. Harrison met me at the door, grinning. 0% probability of paternity. Damien's? Has to be. She's been with no one else according to her own messages. Send it to her lawyer. Now. Within an hour, Kate's lawyer called Harrison. My client wishes to expedite the divorce proceedings. Suddenly cooperative? Harrison laughed. My client's terms haven't changed. She gets the legal minimum. The final hearing was Tuesday. Kate waddled in, now obviously showing. Damien was served papers to appear. He didn't show. His lawyer sent a note claiming his client had relocated for work opportunities in Vancouver. Judge Reeves looked at the DNA results, the evidence of infidelity, the embezzlement from the gallery, the fraud against her parents. Miss Kate, he said slowly, in 30 years on the bench, I've rarely seen someone destroy their life so thoroughly through their own choices. Kate stared at the table. Full custody to Mr. Kaden. Supervised visitation continues until Ms. Kate completes parenting classes and therapy. Given the embezzlement charges and current pregnancy, no alimony. Division of assets. He awarded her 15%. The legal minimum in our state. The house would be sold, profit split accordingly. The inheritance from Mr. Kaden's father remains his sole property as it was never commingled. The separate account Ms. Kate established through deceptive withdrawals will be returned to Mr. Kaden in full. Kate's lawyer whispered urgently in her ear. She shook her head, defeated. Outside the courthouse, Kate tried one more time. I loved you. I really did. You loved what I provided. There's a difference. What about Arya? She needs her mother. She needs stability. Truth. Role models who don't lie and steal. You can earn your way back into her life, but that's on you. Her Uber pulled up. She looked back once. For what it's worth, I am sorry. Worth about as much as your promises. 6 months later, I got a text from an unknown number. Damien's new girlfriend in Vancouver. She'd found my website, wanted to thank me for the warning. He'd already started the same patterns with her. She dumped him immediately. Kate had the baby. A boy. Damien signed away parental rights from Vancouver. Her parents helped with the minimum, but she was essentially alone. Last I heard, she was working at a frame shop, living in a studio apartment, rebuilding from zero. Arya asked about her less and less. We moved to a house closer to the coast. I got promoted to platform manager, better schedule, more time home. 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Some nights, after Arya's asleep, I stand on our deck watching the ocean. The wind turbines blink red in the distance. My phone sits silent. No lies. No betrayal. No drama. Just truth, waves, and the steady pulse of machines I understand completely. That's all I needed anyway. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.